Masters of innovation.
Looking towards the future with anticipation, raising up the technological conversation from the east to the west and all across the nation. If knowledge is the cure, then we got the medication. We're the masters of innovation, the masters of innovation. We're the masters of innovation, the masters of innovation.
Welcome, everybody, to the Masters of Innovation. Back again with the cutting-edge knowledge you need. And as always, I'm Garrett Wagner, your entrepreneurial CPA channel host. And I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the name that I possibly can't say, straight out of his, wherever he's from. It was his bunker last time, Joe Brunsman, CLP Brokers. Joe, how's life treating you today?
Pretty good, actually. Had my 35th birthday, feeling particularly old. I think my knees are going out. Yeah, just waiting for the world to open back up and the most boring apocalypse ever to be over.
So this is a perfect question for you as an old man now, Joe.
Oh,
we talk about different instances that firms are dealing with today. So let's kind of dive into this one as firms are starting to reopen in different parts of the country. Reopening's coming. You're the man, the expert at all things insurance related for firms, cybersecurity, pieces like that. But today, let's talk more about firms overall. As firms kind of get ready to reopen, whatever that means to them, what advice do you have for them so they're as protected as they can be as they deal with this, as you said, slowest apocalypse pandemic ever?
Yeah, the movies promised us zombies, and I have yet to see a zombie. So it's been slow going. But in relation to your question, probably the biggest pointer I would give firms is talk to your attorney. Like, you need to talk to your attorney because there are so many different avenues that you have to attack this problem from. And a lot of them are going to be things that you may not foresee unless you're actually speaking with your attorney. So for example, general reopening considerations. I took some notes here, so I'm reading off my notepad here. What sort of in-office protocols are you going to have? Are you going to be offering protective gear? What's your sick policy going to be from here on out with this new information? How do you, maintain OSHA compliance? Has the OSHA compliance changed? What is your specific jurisdiction's guidance going to say on what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and or when you can or cannot do these things? So it's going to be a multifaceted approach. It's going to be complex, but if you break it down into just kind of the basic steps, talk to your attorney, I think most firms can get through this.
So for some firms out there, obviously, if you're already virtual, this is kind of a moot point to you. You're virtual. Just watch out for the zombies roaming the streets, and otherwise you're good, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So, for example, customer bankruptcy, that could be an issue that you're going to have to start facing. So even though, let's say you are 100% virtual, you've been 100% virtual, let's say now you have clients that are facing bankruptcy. Okay, well, is that going to be Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is reorganization, or is it a Chapter 7 case? Okay, is there going to be a lien somewhere? Is there a possibility that you're going to get brought into this? Is there any advice that you've given to them in the past that maybe they did or did not take? Do you think you have any liability that's going to be associated with that bankruptcy? These are all things that have obviously insurance implications as well as business implications. So even those 100% virtual companies, there's still going to be issues they need to consider moving forward.
And that's a good point. And we talked about that in a prior episode, kind of about, hey, if your client comes to you and says they've got some business continuity problems, they might go out of business, they're being hurt by this, kind of what to do. So we'll kind of refer people back to that. But that's a good point. Virtual firms still can have that. But generally, if you're a virtual firm, a lot of that kind of reopening safety protocol stuff, you'll be good. It's another good reason why if you're a physical firm, it's not necessarily you got to feel like you got to rush back into this. Some people, if they stay at home, it's for the best.
Certainly, yeah. I think virtual firms I think kind of the proof is in the pudding at this point that virtual firms have a lot of benefits that maybe we didn't previously see or weren't really emphasized to the point that they are now. But even a virtual firm, it's like, okay, yeah, we have the bankruptcy issue, dealing with clients issue. They're also going to have to start considering sick leave policies, how this is going to play into it. Health insurance considerations, how this is going to play into it. It's like sick leave and sick policies. We can just a couple bullet points there. So, is there any sort of liability with, your clients? Maybe you want some of those remote employees to go out to those clients. Okay, well, is there some sort of consent policy that you have in place if an employee believes that they're infected, they were previously infected, they have a family member infected, but they don't think they're infected? What does the state have to say about that? There's just so many kind of different avenues there that a firm should really kind of start noodling through these ideas, hopefully before they're presented with the problem. Because, kind of in our experience, if you've thought through these ideas before, you kind of have some basic guidelines, you generally know how to respond, right? You have a pre-planned response, and then you can fill that pre-planned response to the circumstance at hand. But if you have never thought through this idea before, you haven't had legal counsel chime in on the issue, it just makes it so much easier to, unfortunately and unknowingly, make a mistake that's going to come back and haunt you in the future.
So it sounds like, the biggest takeaway here, if you're a firm out there and you're thinking about reopening, you're in the opening phase, no matter what part of the country you are in, kind of like Joe summed it up, just don't rush it. Don't just be like, hey, Monday, everybody back in the office, let's go. Take your time, think it through. Like you said, consult your attorney, look at your current legal reopening guidelines. And one of the best parts about this is once you learn to do this for yourself, you can help guide your clients through this area. That's not to say you can give your clients legal advice, but you can help guide your clients through, as always, like, here's how we did it. We contacted our attorney, we read the local guidelines of reopening, we put a plan together in place, we rolled it out, and we modify it. You can kind of share those stories with your clients. So it's kind of a great chance to start with your firm, learn a ton, and then share that knowledge with your clients, continue to add value to them.
And I would add too, I think it's also a really great opportunity. In the military, we have this really kind of like an every day we can show our guys and our gals, we're looking out for their best interests. We're really trying to, help them move through the pipeline, get promoted, various awards and all the pomp and circumstance. And a lot of that is just not in the civilian world as a whole. So I think this is actually a great opportunity for businesses to not only, plan appropriately and follow the law always, but also show their employees, hey, we care about you guys, right? So, let's say I ran into this circumstance today. A guy called me and his kid is immunocompromised. And, he's like, okay, how are we going to deal with this? And something like that, or, they've got elderly parents in the house. That's a great chance for a firm to really demonstrate, beyond, putting some fancy poster on the wall. It's actually getting to those people, the ones who actually make the magic sauce. Teamwork makes the dream work, and actually showing them, hey, we care about you guys. We're here to help you. Bring us those problems. We'll do our best to accommodate you.
And that's great. Clearly now we've got an older, a softer, a more gentle Joe. He's turned 35. He's talking about caring for others, little rainbow over his head as he talks. And that's great to wrap it up on. So as always, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you got questions on this, questions what to do, how to reopen, you can reach out to Joe. I know he'll be more than happy to help you as you go. And don't forget, you can click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay up to date with this and all other episodes. And we challenge you today to take action to show that you care about somebody else. And then, as always, invest in yourself.